What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all to most things, cars, car games, racing, motorsports, I guess. I mean, both of us are lacking in knowledge in a lot of those things. I mean,
You say motorsports, F1.
F1, I guess, yeah. If something relevant goes on in one of the updates things, maybe that, but realistically just F1.
Yeah, this is recording on a Saturday, so it's not even going to be the race. It's just going to be qualifying.
No,
So-
yeah. But yes, everything, that sort
Everything.
of themed, just everything. My name is SidWaj. I'm obviously, you're probably here because I plugged the podcast, so I assume you
They're
already
here for
know
me.
me. And if you're an older subscriber, you will know Josh L.
Or a subscriber to the Josh L YouTube channel.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
one of many.
Of many. It truly is. But one thing is it felt like a natural progression to do this, because I need to get into some kind of general car stuff. I can't be stuck in Crew 2 purgatory forever.
the Crew 2 is great, very fun, enjoyable.
But because of that, this is the natural progression of Vega car stuff. I care about cars enough.
It's the leap from the Crew 2 to the wider car audience as a whole.
Yeah, yeah. And I genuinely do have a passion to make like a this car themed thing. I care about cars enough. Alfie, I messaged him when I was at Silverstone, and he was like, "What are you doing at Silverstone?" I said, "Content," and he said, "You know nothing," or I don't even know what he said. He said just something about me having nothing to do with cars.
That's Alfie and Gemma, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right, Adrock, because I do run a racing game car-themed channel. But also,
so clueless when it comes to
so
anything.
It's help. I couldn't tell you a rear fender from a turbo, honestly.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. But on top of that is both members of the I cycle on a car theme while hosting a car themed podcast, and you
I don't even have a car. So
you don't even have a car.
Just gloss over that. Like, it's
It's the perfect storm for a purist to go, oh, bloody, what do they know?
All the facts will be 100% right, guaranteed.
They will be. We won't get anything wrong.
Nothing will ever be wrong.
Of course, but obviously there's going to be a mix of things. It's not just going to be just like, oh my god, Citroen made this new model, and Audi made this new model, and BMW made this. BMW's making some atrocious new models. But there'll also be gaming stuff that'll be either in the main segment if it's a relevant enough topic, but then at the end
will be timestamps for it as well.
Yeah, we're going to be having timestamps done, so you can just check that. I'm going to be making sure this goes up on other streaming platforms, Spotify and the like. It's going to be the main segment. We may have other segments. I mean, leave a comment down below, because reading viewers' comments is probably going to be an intro thing, hopefully. I tried that with an old podcast. We don't talk about the animals.
It's a criticism
podcast
as well, because, first episode.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny to read regardless. But there's going to be the main segment, which will have the relevant stuff, right? The big topics. And if something in gaming is big enough, then that will make it into the main segment. Something mainstream will make it into the main segment. And then near the end, there'll be a quick fire news of the IRL stuff. Gaming segment, which I will helm. The Motorsports segment, which Josh will
The F1 qualifying and free practice segment.
Yeah. And NASCAR and MotoGP and all those other things you definitely watch.
Someone won a race, chat.
Oh my god, and then they made a left turn, and then they made a left turn, and then they made a left turn.
Especially when they turned left.
That was crazy.
I can't even begin to explain.
I don't even know if left is the way they go. They might go right. I actually have no idea. I'm trying to picture cars.
I'm like 95% sure it's left.
Yeah.
But there is a doubt.
No, yeah, I have no idea, really.
And I think they have a circuit series. I have no idea. Yeah.
But there will be the motorsport stuff, there will be the gaming stuff, and like I said, the main topics will be in the week. I'll probably sort out something with a Discord, whether it's just going to be connected to my channel's Discord. Depends. Like, it's a lot of long-term thinking, right?
Depends how your audience, your main or channel audience at the minute feels about it.
I mean, best comes to best, this does better than my channel. Because if this does better, then this encompasses all gaming. So, like, Need for Speed, Forza, Crew 2, and
it can help drive that audience towards your main channel, so you can get away with not doing Crew 24/7.
At the moment, I am stuck in Crew 2 purgatory, and it is torture. It's not terrible, because if I play Forza, I'm not just gonna be an idiot about it and do, like, just driving for 10 minutes and then be like, oh my god, it got no views. Instead, like, if I do a genuinely smart video on Forza, like, whoa, this new thing is crazy, right? Maybe tie it into the Crew 2.
Like you were meant to do an E-tron video.
The new seasonal is too difficult. It's so long, this new seasonal. I tried. But a Forza video will get, like, 2 to 3K. If it's an algorithm-ish one,
with what's
like
being
4.
said about next season in Forza, it might actually do quite well on the channel.
What is next season on Forza?
I think Vash put it in one of your chats about street racing. Like,
oh, that could be kind of cool. I might get. I want to. I mean, going on to I guess one of the bigger topics of the main
Forza
things.
done is Fast and Furious based as well, apparently.
That I might try and do stuff for that. I'm just gonna have to be a lot more quickly on it.
And actually stay on top of it and not just know. Can't do the challenges in time.
This seasonal is so long. It's so torture.
They come out a bad time as well.
Yeah.
It's like midday Thursday.
Which is terrible, because my upload time is 3 p.m. and they come out like 1 p.m. So
you're at college on Thursdays as well.
Exactly. I'm at college on Thursdays now. It's actually...
So it's delayed by a day automatically anyway.
It's actively... Everything is against me. Everything is actively against me for this. But I will get into Forza. And like I said, yeah, I mean, this one is going to be... This podcast is going to be Forza, Need for Speed, everything, and overall cars. And obviously, I'm not going to bombard everyone all the time, but every gaming segment, I will probably plug the channel quickly introducing the gaming segment. And hopefully that draws the people over there. Yeah, I know. We don't talk about the SidWaj audience. The people who watch the Stick Drift podcast, they're the Chads of the community.
They have enough mental capacity not to be degenerates. So,
the only comparison I can really make is, I know Logan Paul's podcast. I've watched the episodes where someone relevant is on, but like, in the podcast, he's actually rather sophisticated and the comments are serviceable. And then you look at his vlogs, and it's that's the kind of difference of audience I expect on this. The issue is,
hopefully that happens.
I'm gonna be promoting it on my channel, so
I can see it already.
But hey, leave comments and we'll read them and whatnot. And I don't know, review on Spotify. I don't know how any of that works yet.
Can you even review on Spotify?
I don't know. But I was gonna segue on to, with the Forza and me making other videos on stuff, I've had big plans for December. I'm gearing up to just make guides. Just a lot of guides, because guides do well, and it's December high revenue. But while that has been going on, some big stuff unfolded. I believe it was known insider... What's his name? Who's the man
Tom Henderson?
Tweets? Tom Henderson. A known industry... I don't know if is he an insider? Or
he's not like... He has, like, contacts within big companies, I think, and they give him inside information.
And I think now he's just got the ball rolling. So now he is the insider guy. So now people will just send him the information. But while all of this goes on, he tweeted a while ago about Need for Speed Unbound, which I don't remember where the name came from. I don't know where that information revealed itself. But I believe the date he said was December 2nd was the day it comes out. Which
quite
is
early in December for a game release. I would have assumed closer to like 20th. So for Christmas. Yeah. So you can get
pre-orders
Christmas orders at full price.
You wouldn't want to have to do a pre-order and then it's arrived early December and now you just have to store it to give it to whoever.
Yeah, just odd timing.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Like 20th.
But I don't think EA have confirmed the second, have they?
I don't know. No, it's not been confirmed yet. But what's rumored is that it's gonna be announced this week. So you know what?
Okay.
I'll probably try and get this out. I haven't even said this right, but you know what? This will probably be the first video. Welcome to the Stick Drift podcast. Well, the Stick Drift channel. This is where I'm gonna be cutting up and uploading the segments in the podcast to, you know, get like a more normal YouTube channel feel rather than a podcast. So if you're not a podcast watcher or listener, you can just watch these videos and they'll have shorts as well. But yeah, I forgot my train of thought. This is going to go up there first because the rumor is it's going to be announced this week is what I hear. I think I'll look up this. I'll look up the stuff about it. I mean, we've got the racing.
Has there been a game recently that hasn't been delayed?
That's the thing. Wasn't so.
TDU was delayed. Skull and Bones has been delayed.
TDU was
I can't
supposed
think
to
of
come
another
out
game
like
that comes out.
a week and a half ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 22nd of September. I think it was.
Sucks.
And it was delayed till 2023 with no month as the release date. So it's just. It's alleged Q1.
Yeah.
But I reckon end of Q1 if that is true.
Here was it. You can all stop asking me now. Need for Speed Unbound coming on December 2nd. Reveal date is vague because it's not set in stone. Could be today, could be a week or 2 from now. Okay, but it will be soon, I guess.
Really late for a reveal.
It really is. I mean, the image I've got on screen right now, that's
from a very, very, very long time ago. That would have been a like pre-alpha build of the game, I reckon. That is,
I think that would probably have the Crew 2 effect, where it's the graphics they think they can put onto a live build.
Don't even start with the Crew 3's E3 trailer. That is something else.
I'll bring that up playing on screen right now, but I know people.
The graphics don't look like that in game.
People went nuts on this. People went nuts on this image, but
it was a full video, wasn't it? It was more than an image. Video? It was like a GIF, like 3-second video.
Carry on while I find this.
But like, it's not going to look like that in game. Is it even using a new game engine? Because if it's using Heat game engine, it's not a great place to begin with, to be honest. Physics, whack. Graphics aren't great, even for what 2019 release. The graphics weren't good then. And if it's a similar size map with the same game engine, I can't imagine it's going to be much better than that.
Here was the Crew 2's E3 footage. There's
it doesn't look anything
it's
like
just,
that.
It's vile.
They have this version of the game hidden away somewhere.
Yeah, this version of the game is like, look at the buildings, even the buildings,
like,
the shadows.
There's better reflections, longer load distance. The ambient occlusion is much better.
Sharp.
It's so much better on that.
Yeah, but like that's what I mean, because this is like when was these images? Did you say when these images were? But like
they're old. They're I think over a year. Yeah. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's over a year.
This will be just rendering atmosphere and the 2 cars.
I would doubt that's even in game. Like if it is in
early development build. I think right underneath it said early development build.
So it's in engine gameplay, so it's not going to look like
Yeah.
that. 2 cars in like a little tiny 1 mile by 1 mile square isn't going to reflect the graphic quality of a full video game map.
It looks good, but it's just
It looks good for, 2020 when we saw the teaser? I would say it looks acceptable now. Like, if it doesn't look like that on release, they're going to have a hard time.
If you're really surprised it doesn't look that good on release, I think you had it coming if you're like, oh my god, what? No.
The physics better be different.
Yeah.
Is there really a place for a tap to drift game in 2022?
I don't know if it's just the Forza and Crew audience that thinks this, because I don't know how adamant the Need for Speed audience is.
Back in the day, I was a big fan. Like Ridge Racer Unbounded, for an example. Similar name, but it was a tap to drift arcade racer game that was enjoyable and fun when you're a child.
Yeah, I mean, one of the games I love, I played it recently, was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the remastered version. that was a lot of fun. But it's like, if that released today, it's, well, I
It's
guess
not really much of a skill gap either, because it's
No.
tapped. There's just, unless they go out of their way to make it where there is how you make a skill gap in a tapped drift game, I have no idea. But unless they make their way, there's a skill gap. It's just gonna be
think back then,
missions.
Yeah, I think back then the to make a game accessible, it was drifty, goofy cars.
Because you had like the early Forza Motorsports for your realistic, Gran Turismo for your realistic games, and then you had your Need for Speeds for your arcadey games at Ridge Racer.
But now with Forza, the accessible handling and racing games are the ones that aren't tap to drift. They're the ones that are just like drive car, not every car.
Bit of bias. I would say the Crew has the best arcade handling any racing game. Because it's grippy enough to where you can have fun, and it's not tap to drift. It's just
I think Forza's are really good, but for arcade pick up and play gameplay, I think the Crews are really good. Obviously, there's a big bit of bias there, and feel free to just go
zero
cringe.
bias. Zero.
Yeah, but Forza is the game for car people. I think
Forza is much more focused on looks, like graphic quality and just sheer number of cars.
People pick up the Crew 2 expecting it to be a game for car people. It's got cars.
The Crew's a collection game.
It's a collection game.
You get
it's
the
a
cars
game.
and you play races to get more cars.
Yeah, and it's that kind of game but Forza, I genuinely think it is without a shadow of a doubt the best game for car people. If you're a mechanic, if you're just a Kyle who's just bought his first hatchback, Forza is your game for car people.
If you just want to hop in, I like X car and I want to drive it in an open world game, you get Forza.
And the physics are brilliant for that. I think the Crew 2's physics are the best for just being a gameplay-focused car game, rather than
And the Crew, I would say, is better for a more leaderboard, if you want to be top of leaderboard style game. Because in Forza, you're not getting there unless you cheat, because, they still use the Forza Horizon 4 game engine.
Yeah.
So everyone is using the same cheats.
The next one won't be on the same engine, but...
Hopefully they have cheats sorted by then.
But what this is making me think is, though, where does Need for Speed Unbound fit in then, if it's not... So we've already got the car person's car game, Forza. We've got the Crew 2, which is the more gameplay-focused grinding car game.
Yeah.
It would have the funny...
Need for Speed exists in a, my first racing game. And it sounds mean saying that. But, where else does it fit in?
I think... Honestly,
on console with no mods,
with the current ecosphere of racing games, it's going to be controversial within this call, but I think tap to drift with heavy reliance on story, it may not do well, but I think that might be what they go with to actually have any market share.
Who wants to play a tap to drift game? I don't believe people like that exist.
I mean, comment if you do, but specifically comment.
And if you do comment, you're not real.
What makes you? Why do you not exist?
What's the appeal?
Yeah. Because Okay. Here's the thing that I will say. I think it works really well on games like Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which I love. It's the main Need for Speed I've ever played.
No nostalgia there.
It's because it's high-paced. Everything feels high-paced.
Well,
Current
Hot Pursuit compared to Heat. Hot Pursuit has better physics.
Exactly, yeah. The thing is, current racing games are open world. I don't think tap to drift works in open world. Now, I'm not saying drifting. The Crew has drifting, and that works fine in open world because they're drift cars.
Controversially.
I'm talking about every car being a drift car, essentially.
It's just... It gives off very 2005 vibes.
Yeah.
It's...
I could understand for
it works.
I could understand for Split Second or those kind of games where it's really fast paced. Those those work.
Imagine Need for Speed without how do I describe this?
I was gonna say like maybe if
It's
it
like
was
a
an open
prestige
world.
thing. Like you
Yeah.
play through it and it's got normal car physics,
Mm.
but like once you complete it, you can like prestige and you unlock like throwback physics where you
Yeah.
have the option to play in tap to drift for the 3 people on this planet
Yeah.
who would choose that.
I mean, it's like what released recently that I played, Lego Star Wars. Realistically, it makes the experience worse, but they had the mumble mode where everyone mumbles in the game because cutscenes. Because oh my god, the old Lego games were like that. Alright, so like for the
Police.
few people, what's the one?
Need for Speed has police that Forza and the crew don't.
That's that's it.
That's
Tap
the
to
appeal.
drift, grimy feel, and police. I think if they remove tap to drift,
if they didn't have tap to drift, it would be a great game. I would enjoy
think they
Need for
could
Speed
keep the
if
wavy
it had
camera.
good physics.
Yeah. Like the customization is good. I think the Cruise is above that. Forza's is abysmal.
The crew
like,
has the best customization.
Yeah.
No bias.
The customization is really good. Graphics, I don't think they'll be able to beat Forza. Forza is miles above
Forza's in
with
another
graphics.
league,
Like there's
but-
yeah.
If they don't beat the crew, they're doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I as long as it looks better than the Crew, which will be the easiest thing in existence, I think they're fine. It's the name's been, well, nothing's been confirmed yet.
Is it going to be on PS4? It's not confirmed, is it?
It's not confirmed, but if it's
Because
releasing,
Payback on PS4 is starting to look dated, and I
If
only
it's-
imagine Heat looks
yeah.
bad.
but if it's this December 2nd,
They're
that
going to want
means
those
it's gonna
PS4
be-
sales.
It's gonna be in. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna have been in development for like what 2 years? Pandemic slowed it down, right? It was supposed to come out like 3
Yeah.
years ago. So
Yeah.
I think 100%. It is gonna be
Hopefully,
on PS4.
and they were the development team were pulled to work on Battlefield 2042,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
embarrassing.
I
But
don't-
hopefully,
yeah.
I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Hopefully good game. I don't know.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah, hopefully good game.
Hopefully good game. It's an interesting thing. I mean, maybe by the time this video comes out, maybe it's already been revealed, and you'll see a SidWaj reaction face on the main channel for it. You know, who knows? But Need for Speed Unbound. It's hopefully good game is the only way
If
to
it
sum
just
it up.
didn't like, I have a vendetta against How to Drift. If you couldn't tell, like it's just,
Yeah.
in my opinion, warning, I guess, it has no place in 2022.
Yeah, but I guess that is an opinion. One thing people do have strong opinions on is electric cars. And
Yeah.
one of the bigger strong opinions recently has been on... Now, I think someone else in my space of content creation, Black Panther, another racing game, arcade game, content creator, I think he made a video. I only saw the thumbnail title, but he did a video on the electric Dodge because it is it the first?
It would be the first electric Dodge, as far as I'm aware.
Is
yeah.
it the first electric muscle? Is the question.
What makes it muscle at that point? Because the typical
That's true,
like aspect
yeah.
of muscle is high torque, high power, fairly big. That's just any electric car. Like a Taycan is massive, makes a lot of torque and a lot of power. Is
At
that a
point,
muscle car?
Exactly, yeah. Would you have to... I honestly, I don't know if this will be controversial. I want to say, is it just the shape and the manufacturer that causes it deems it muscle?
I think at this point, yeah.
It's just whether it's got like the buff
Does it have
design.
heritage, basically?
Yeah,
Like this?
yeah. Has it got like the beefy design? Has it got like the bulked up look? One of the
Very
iconic
boxy.
looks, yeah.
But I do
Mustang,
like it.
the-
And I really, really like the use of the old logo on the front instead of the new one.
Has it got the old one?
It's got the... Describing it is a challenge. It's the
A challenge.
triangle, but like
That
That was top 10 unfunniest jokes. That was bad. But they- I have no words. No words. That is the top tier humor you can expect from Stick Drift.
Exactly. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
Front.
I like the old logo on the front. I like the long LED, the long running light.
Yeah,
The way it looks so good.
It kind of
And
reminds me
in my opinion, if they can get it below 65 grand in the UK, it's probably like 4 pence in the US. But if they can get it below 65 grand in the UK, I assume it will come to the UK because it's electric.
Yeah.
It will sell.
What it reminds me of, and I was baffled that this thing wasn't electric. What it reminds me of is the Hyundai concept. Because I feel it's got a
Technically
similar...
electric.
Is it technically electric?
It's hydrogen, but it converts hydrogen into electricity.
Yeah. But it looks like the same kind... Like, it looks like it fits in. It fits in with that same style. Like, it's got the...
I prefer the Hyundai more.
I mean, the Hyundai is very cool. Yeah.
If they make that a production car, that will sell. Like, there's no doubts about it. That will do very well.
I mean, I think the other...
Sub 65 grand, that'll sell well.
I mean, isn't the whole thing that the other Hyundai concept, that thing, they made and then that did get to production?
They're making that, apparently. They're making an end version of the... What is that called? The Hyundai Ioniq 6?
Yeah.
The Ioniq 5 was a concept car that people liked enough that they made real.
Yeah.
Same with that Ioniq 6, and then the Ioniq 6N, which is that one there. People really like the... Was it the 75? The 74. The Ioniq Concept 74. They really like that. So hopefully they do put it into production.
Yeah. But currently, I feel like some electric cars work, some don't. Some I don't understand.
They work better as like a second car. So you have a fun petrol car for having fun, and then you have an electric car as your I need to go to work and back. Because it's just quiet, efficient, it's cheap to run, not cheap to buy. But it's nothing to go wrong.
Given this bloody this economy though, how long are you gonna be able to buy an electric car? Is the thing though.
I reckon because if it.
Oh, sorry,
Dodge
no, a petrol car. How long?
Petrol car. Dodge could sell this in the UK.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, because, we're banning them.
It looks... The way it has the bulged hood makes it look like they've tried to pass EU pedestrian safety regulations.
Yeah.
Which makes me think they're going to try and bring it to the UK. But what, the Mustang GT, it should be more expensive than that. That's 59 grand here.
Yeah.
That'll be... I reckon that's going to be 75 plus.
But... Again, like I said, there's some electric cars I understand, and there's some I don't. I think this is another concept, but one I need to bring up is the Citroen Ollie. This thing is vile. It literally, I will never hear any different, other than the fact that this thing is I need to find this.
It just doesn't like electric car meant to be aerodynamic, sleek, like what's the word? Efficient.
Yeah, it's like that neon.
A window at 90 degrees to the air is the opposite of efficient.
It's a tiny HX concept. It
looks exactly
a tiny
like that.
HX concept, and it's so
It's so similar. It's so similar.
That is some copying homework level stuff.
But I assume because they had a city car called the Ollie, the Ami, which is like a tiny little city car, like 2-seater thing. That's meant to just be like they're set up in London. They're set up in London. You can rent it, and I don't think you need a car license for it. It counts as a quadricycle, so you can just hop in it and dart to Asda or something.
Yeah.
But, that looks small. That looks like a quadricycle. This HX concept knockoff just...
I don't even... Weird. Even on the road there. It looks like when movies try and show the future. That's what it looks like. Especially compared to this Dodge. What is it attempting to... It better stay in the concept lab. It's
also got the new Citroen logo on it. It's the first new car with the new Citroen logo.
I didn't even know it was a new logo.
It's got the oval around it. They don't usually have that, I don't think.
Oh, right, yeah, because normally it's
Hopefully it stays in France, because
Yeah.
I don't want it.
France can have it. France can keep it.
Yeah.
It's vile. I mean,
I
what
don't-
mainstream electric cars? Has there been any other like big electric shakeups like this Dodge? Because I don't think there has.
You get like the Renault Zoe and the Nissan Leaf, they're just mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, I know the
But-
Porsche Taycan is still doing its thing.
It's not exactly mainstream, but
No, it's not mainstream, but
100,
it's
140 grand is, a bit much.
it's definitely the higher end, but it is an electric car that is
It's
electric
a luxury
car-ing.
electric
Yeah.
car. The Leaf and the Zoe are electric cars, and then the Taycan and that will be luxury.
I don't know if this is controversial, but no matter what Elon says, Tesla's pretty luxury still, I would say as well. I don't know how much he says about. No, it's gonna be 2 pennies by 2023. It's gonna be cheaper
I
to
mean,
get electric.
they are cheap to finance. They will sell you a Tesla on like a 7-year finance agreement.
I mean, there used to be like they'd pay you a little bit to get an electric car,
Yeah,
wasn't it? Yeah.
They just really wanted market share. That's I
Yeah.
suppose the best advertising. If everyone has a Tesla,
Yeah.
it's like,
And
oh,
if
what
you
do I
can
get?
away
Oh,
with
a Tesla.
financing it, like, yeah. And just having a Tesla's pretty cool. I don't see them too often. I may
Service
go as far
centers
as
are
to
an issue.
say, yeah.
I know in the US they have some. There's no way there is a Tesla service center within 40 miles of me.
Yeah. I mean, what's fueling like on electric cars? Because I know America has a big issue with the Taycan or Taycan or whatever, because the Teslas and Porsche's ones aren't compatible.
Yeah, in the
That's,
US,
like-
it's wild.
Yeah.
Like, they just can't agree to use... In the EU, they all have to use one plug. But
I
in the
assume
US,
so, yeah.
just
I was literally gonna say
not allowed to do that for some reason.
yeah, like I was literally gonna say that's the
'Cause-
most UK thing in existence to just go
Like,
no.
it's
use
any
one.
charge port will fit any electric vehicle.
Yeah, okay,
But
yeah, we're
in the
chilling.
US, you've got
Yeah.
the Volkswagen ones, the Tesla ones are different.
It makes
Which
such
is so
like,
funny. Volkswagen still
Yeah.
they have to do that because of Dieselgate. They have to build like it's called like Bear America or something because
Yeah.
Dieselgate.
Why let the companies get away with that? Like I don't
America.
understand. Yeah,
America.
exactly.
It just proves they're not doing it in the UK just because they're being nice.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they have to.
I mean,
If given the option, they would segregate you out of being able to charge at their station.
even the UK is kind of dumb. Like the EU is definitely much further ahead with it because they're like what? They're like Apple must have these
USB-C.
the USB-C. They're like all robocall. Every company must have a human on the phone with you within 10 minutes or so. Like the
Yeah,
EU actually
I don't agree with them.
the EU actually cares for user convenience.
It cares for consumer rights.
Yeah.
The US doesn't.
No, it's wild how
The
much they let their
US
companies
caters
get
more
away
to
with.
organizations where the
Yeah.
EU caters towards customers. It's
Yeah,
the complete opposite.
and that's just the EU, not the UK. We don't talk about the UK and corporations.
Unless you're Ferrari, Lamborghini, or
Yeah.
other, because they could just be like, here is some I don't know how they do it. Right? Ducati as well. They get to break noise regulations for cars just
Yeah.
because. I don't know. Italy would lose money, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Italy's begs the EU, like, please let it pass.
Yeah. Oh dear. I mean, what are the years that everything has to be electric by?
20. Well, companies are doing different. Honda's confirmed 2030, no more petrol.
Yeah.
But they only have one non-hybrid left anyway. Like, most car companies only have, at least in the UK,
Yeah.
1 or 2 fully petrol models left. Everything else is hybrid because they have to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how it works in the US, but to sell a car in the EU, your company as a whole must emit less than X amount of emissions over an entire fleet. That's why Vauxhall doesn't do VXRs anymore. Honda doesn't, in the UK at least, they do in America because no emissions. We don't get the Type R over here anymore. Like, we get no sports cars because they can't. Because if they sold a sports car, it would have to be a hybrid and no one would buy it.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to see what happens with the electric cars, I guess. Cooler stuff like this would be welcomed.
The issue with stuff like that as well, it will be luxury. It won't be like
Yeah,
40 grand like
yeah.
a Leaf. It'll be like 70 plus. But say
I think
I'm not
companies.
doxing where you live, but saying where you live right
Yeah.
now, there is a path in front of your house, right? That if it
Yeah.
was parked outside, you have to run a cable across.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
law, you're not allowed to do that.
Oh, yeah. There you
You're not
go.
allowed to run a cable across a path in the UK. It's just
Hmm.
illegal. So if you have a path outside your house where you have to charge your car,
You're gonna
you
have
can't.
to.
You're
Yeah.
not allowed.
Exactly. Okay. Well, that is actually very dumb.
Which
But.
poses like especially for apartment blocks, like you can't run cables. It just doesn't
I
make
think
sense.
I think my take is if companies just don't go crazy, just take what you have and do this to it, right? Like just like,
MG has done that recently. They have taken it's an estate, which
yeah.
weighs like 4 million tons. Why not? And made, I think it's 31 grand. I think it's the cheapest electric car in the UK. The first car company to get a sub £30,000 brand new electric car with like decent
Yeah.
range will do well.
Yeah, yeah. And
But,
as long
yeah.
as they look good, I guess. As long as
Yeah.
they don't go crazy with
I
the
mean,
looks.
people buy the Nissan Leaf and the Renault Zoe, so people will buy
Yeah.
anything.
So yeah, I
like
mean,
this.
yeah. No, never mind. I guess yeah. So anything can get away with it, really. But speaking of getting away with it, and remaining on the topic of electric cars, in all fairness, I think one of the biggest hoot and holler hardy ha's I've had in a while is Elon Musk's recent take on his Cybertruck. Now, before I even mention the take, where is this thing? Where?
It's gonna be US only.
Yeah.
Or and ex-territories that aren't part of the EU or follow EU regulations. Because the reason cars have to have fronts like that is because, say, you hit a pedestrian, the bonnet has to deform to an X amount before the pedestrian hits, like, X amount of Gs, right?
Yeah.
Before they hit the engine. If you hit it's all stainless steel, as far as I'm aware that day. If you hit a pedestrian with that, they are dead. Like,
Yeah.
you are mowing them down.
It's
There's
like
no way they can get away with that. In the EU, at least.
like they're gonna have to change it. It's either gonna have to be rounder or it's gonna have to have like, I don't know, bars at the front. I feel like that's more dangerous.
I don't think you're allowed to have sharp edges unless you're
Yeah.
Lamborghini or Ferrari or
Yeah.
Ducati. Because, you know.
Well, I guess they're like a luxury or whatever. I don't know, but like this
Yeah.
thing's supposed to be like. I mean, his claims, isn't it supposed to be like normal SUV pickup price or whatever?
Normal pickup price in the US is probably like £4 million or something.
I don't know. It's the US. It's probably like £4.
£4.
Yeah. In the US, you get like a Mustang for your first car. But like.
That's insane, by the way. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. The US has too much room
Yeah,
that it knows what to
yeah.
do with.
Like, I don't know how big this is, but it will be massive.
Yeah.
And stainless steel isn't cheap. There's a reason they don't
Yeah.
use stainless steel on cars, because rust is an issue, right?
Yeah.
The solution would be use stainless steel. It weighs so much more,
Yeah.
I think. And it's expensive.
I mean,
That car isn't going to be less than £70,000.
the thing is, you say America only. I know the Tesla YouTuber person, Jack Massey Welsh, he has a pre-order on one of these. So you can pre-order it in the UK. So unless they fully refund you, I assume it's gonna attempt to come to the UK.
It won't look like that. It can't
No,
have mudguards.
no.
Like, if the mudguards are metal, they cannot look like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That would gouge a pedestrian.
I don't know when this is ever gonna release. Didn't Tesla also didn't
You got
Tesla
the
also
Roadster
have the
as well. Is it
Roadster?
the Roadster or the
The
sports
speedy
car?
one. That
Yeah.
one.
That he
That's-
claims like what 1.9
Yeah.
seconds 0 to 60, 200 mile an hour top
Has
speed.
that
or something like that.
semi-released? Like,
That was in like 2015. And
Yeah.
I think one prototype exists.
yeah, but like the Cybertruck, the reason I bring it up here today is because now Elon, I would say he has his fair share of stands. I was
Fair for you.
I was considering tweeting this, but I was like, backlash would be too heavy, right? Because I'd have to make it too long-worded of a tweet to not have backlash. Obviously, Andrew Tate says a lot worse things and is an absolute degenerate of a human being with what he says. But the people who blindly follow Elon Musk like he's the next coming of Christ are
Yeah.
almost as bad, only in the following, not in what he says, as Andrew Tate stands, who will listen to every single word of his as if he's the second coming of Christ. Like,
Yeah, I'll let you get onto it, but I've just had a thought for when that happens.
yeah. But, but I say that because, again, a lot of people defend him, but I think he is one of the most top-notch wafflers known to man.
He has a degree in waffling. Like,
he has probably done so many charitable things. He's donated $1 million to Team Trees. He's probably donated so much to charity. He's probably done so many really good things. Done a lot of really questionable things. But I think both of those things can be acknowledged. And it can also be acknowledged that he is a top-notch waffler. Especially in the fact when Elon Musk said that the Tesla Cybertruck, and I quote, I don't know where this is from. I hope this is a terribly out of context quote that he's gonna go on Twitter and be like, actually, I didn't even say this. The Tesla Cybertruck will serve briefly as a boat.
It's
quote
just
Elon Musk.
ridiculous. Right, go back to the image of the Cybertruck on its own.
Yeah.
Like, this thing weighs I think it's 2.8, right? So we'll round up to 3 metric tons, which to begin with is insane.
Yeah.
Right? That's going to sit very, very, very low in the water, considering it weighs 3 tons. Look how low down the door seals go.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that is going to have to... Well, it might be semi-water resistant on release, but say 5 years' time when the door seals, there's a bit more of play and they're a bit worn down, that's not going to hold water. Like, that's...
And I mean, obviously, I guess it would like hold a lot of air. I guess I don't think you'd want an airtight car, but what's it called? Like
suffocating it.
Exactly. I think one of the things that would work against it is one of the things that's really good for electric cars. Is
And it would have to have perfect weight distribution.
Exactly.
It would have to.
But like the thing is, electric cars do not flip over because all of their weight is in the battery that's just flat at the bottom. That's the first thing that's going to go underwater.
Batteries and water aren't well.
They don't
don't mesh very well.
But the thing is, this quote, it throws me for a goddamn loop. Because serve briefly. Briefly is the thing. So it sinks. So it sinks.
We drove into a river once and it floated for 5 seconds.
So it served
basically
briefly
a boat.
as a boat. That's like saying if I chucked it out a window, it serves briefly as a plane. You know, once it sank, it does serve briefly as a submarine.
I mean, you could say the Tesla launched into space served briefly as a rocket.
Like it would. It's just, it's one of the dumbest things I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
it makes no sense. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on an electric car right now. For some reason, right? Volvo done a study, right?
Yeah.
On a normal Volvo electric car. I think Pulsar is there. I don't even know what Pulsar is to Volvo anymore.
Yeah.
But they done like 70,000 miles, right? Before buying a new electric car actually overtakes being more environmentally friendly than keeping your old petrol car.
Yeah.
Because the amount of stuff for a Volvo, right, to mine the materials for the battery. This thing weighs 3 tons. The battery in this is going to be massive.
Yeah.
It was made out of stainless steel. It's an SUV. It's so unaerodynamic. Look at it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
like that's pretty close to 100,000 miles. Before that is better than keeping a petrol car.
Exactly. Yeah, and to the same effect. Sure, battery that takes everything, or like to get all of it. However many tons you said. It's a lot of materials to obtain in a definitely environmentally friendly way.
But, like, it's an SUV that no one is going to take off-road. Like, that... Because the battery's the first thing that hits a rock when you go off-roading.
Like, well, I mean, obviously, they're completely
You can take a US off-road without fear of puncturing a battery and exploding.
Exactly, yeah. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because the battery's right there.
The battery is the bottom. I assume it's going to have shielding, sure, but, like...
Yeah.
It's too heavy to off-road. It's too heavy to be a boat.
Yeah.
It's unaerodynamic. It's not more efficient to, like... I think the EU is at some point going to put a restriction on the size of electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Because a normal Volvo, like an SUV, 70,000 miles is close to the lifetime of a car in the UK.
Yeah.
Like, what, 120 before they rust away?
Mm.
At that point, is it not more economically friendly to buy an old petrol car? Like, it's...
But the thing is, though...
And especially stuff like this.
Yeah.
And if they done an electric Escalade, Jesus Christ, that
Yeah.
thing would be 5 miles long.
I don't know if they've... I don't know about specifically electric cars, though, because, I mean, I see Rams that are like...
We're talking European.
Like, yeah.
In America, this is probably the most environmentally thing they've ever seen in their life. Like,
Yeah.
I know.
But, like,
I
with, like, limited cars.
replied to a thing. An Eco V6. That is... A V6 would be the sport version in the UK.
Mm.
Like, you'd have i3 for the Eco, which, Peugeot is a great example for this. i3 is the Eco, inline 4 is the standard, V6 is the sport. In the US, it would be V6 is the Eco, V8 is the standard, and then you got like supercharged V8 as the sport. Like, it's insane over there. It's ridiculous.
It's... You know what? Like, the Cybertruck, I can't catch a break. It had the whole ball thrown at the window thing, which, like, to be fair...
I forgot it has like bulletproof glass. That is gonna... This weighs so much.
Exactly! But, like, to be fair, that was a very headline instant thing. Like, apparently they threw it a bunch of times and it didn't break, and just the fact that it didn't crumble entirely was apparently, like, a really genuinely big thing. But, like...
When I hate when people throw mail balls at me while I'm driving down the road.
Well, this is gonna be in America, so...
True. You got their maces just whipping windows as they're driving by, I guess.
But it's it baffles me. It baffles me.
Like,
you know what?
A Model 3 makes sense. It is probably going to be more environmentally friendly over the lifetime of the vehicle.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
If this thing releases, sure.
It won't be in the UK.
No. Like,
imagine, I don't even... Wait, how wide is this?
it would be fun to import, you know?
Truck width.
It wouldn't work on UK roads, but that's most American cars that get imported.
Yeah.
Like, there is no room, especially in, like, any kind of countryside, when they're literally, like...
It gives me in inches because the USA. Thank you, the USA.
Nice. Like, there's roads thinner than the width of my room in the UK that, like, would be a daily driven road.
To be fair...
Yeah.
No, I take it back. It's 30 centimeters wider than a Focus RS.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. When you can put a
Why is it so big?
Yeah. American cars is why.
USA.
Car design in general. Car design in general is what's going downhill. And there is good car design recently, but... like, that Dodge is...
The Dodge looks modern. I like the look of it. I like it.
To steal
and if
something
it released,
from...
to
steal something
it's going to be the
from
first Dodge we get in the UK.
Yeah. To steal something from the quick news, what was it? Was it a Maserati something? That thing looks kind of cool. Yeah. I think the e-tron actually... I don't like the fake vent. But the e-tron is fine.
Fake vents need to go. It makes sense
thing.
when they've taken normal petrol car and been like, oh, throw a battery in it, get it out. Cheap electric car. But when it's the e-tron, a solely electric car, why does it have a grill? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
It's the dumbest thing. Fake grills need to go. But the thing... right. Cars going out and cars coming in is a big thing at the moment. Because very, very recently, I think this was a couple
days ago. Can I pause that 1 second?
Yeah.
Florida's ban on street racing and drag racing on public roads starts today. That was illegal before.
Yeah, it was illegal before. That is the biggest Florida man
moment. Pull down the highway, I guess, so that's fine. You know?
Florida. Like... Was there like a mutual thing?
That is the most American statement I've ever read.
That is quite the headline. They're banned on streets, takeovers, and drag racing.
You're now not allowed to drag race on the street, you know.
Like, what, did the police just show up before and they were
it's like, oh, you were speeding, but I was drag racing.
Whatever.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, wait, they've confiscated the entire road? Well, oh well, you know. But, That is wild. That is actually
It's
wild.
insane.
But I'm not sure on many more. But one of the few things is in and outgoing cars. Because very, very recently, the final Aventador left the lot. I don't know what spec of Aventador it was. It looks kind of cool, actually. It doesn't look like the crew one, but
it's matte, so it's
yeah.
bad.
But the final Aventador has left the lot. Lamborghini is no longer making Aventadors. I don't think they've been doing Gallardos in so
Gallardos
long.
was ages ago, 12,
Yeah.
I think, 2012.
Murcielagos probably before that.
Murcielagos a while ago.
Yeah, Huracan and Urus is all they do. I wanna say, or probably like the Spider Sport version.
The SVJ Spider, the SVJ Sport, the
like it'll be
SVJ Spider has
it'll be like 50 like Apple phone models level of removed, but Huracan and Urus. And Urus is the most sold Lambo. I don't know where the Aventador was in that. Yeah. We'll save another episode for SUV takes on SUVs.
I can go on about SUVs. In the bin.
But
apart from the Marvel Hyundai collab, that was about
exactly. That's the only SUV that gets a pass. But Aventadors, I don't know how high up they were. I think Gallardos was the other highest sold.
It makes sense why these are being like, because when did you ever see one? Like,
yeah.
It's not really that hyped compared to like you hear more about the Urus and the Aventador. Which one is this?
This one's the Aventador.
I don't know. You hear about the Huracan and the Urus more.
I think I've seen maybe 2 Aventadors. I don't think I've seen a Urus, but that might just be a UK moment. I think that's probably.
I have seen many Uri.
Have you seen? Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I just haven't.
Yeah.
But the Aventador, I want to say, right, I don't know if it was this car. I don't know if it was this or the Huracan. But I remember Top Gear saying, when they reviewed it, it's just kind of a Lambo. Like, it's not
like,
the
I mean,
most
even
this,
looking at it, like,
that.
I couldn't really... It has the back, like, you can see where the wings would be on a Murcielago. It's sort of just like a modern Murcielago.
Yeah,
And I say modern as in it's not 20 years old.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the Huracan's cool. But I think personally...
The Huracan looks more modern, in my opinion.
Yeah. When someone says Lambo, though, I would have pictured the Aventador. I don't like the Aventador. It's not my favorite Lambo. I prefer the Huracan.
I mean, that probably dates it. Like, it's been around for a while. Like, if it's the one you think of.
Yeah, exactly. But that's on its way out. But...
I know it's coming. You're not going to be happy when you see this.
But with that on its way out, not only is there stuff like the Citroen concept that we talked about earlier, but there is the BMW the newer BMW M2, which looks rancid.
I like the squared front.
Yeah.
Like, I can live with the squared front. But who gave it bullhorns on the rear? Like,
it's shocking. It looks instantly.
It weighs 1.7 tons, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, what's with, like, performance car, right? Performance. I don't think it's hybrid. So how does it weigh 1.6 tons?
And I think the global joke that was instantly made, everyone making it, thinking they were the most original person saying it. It's a GTA. It looks like a GTA version of the M2. I'm just realizing that obviously the video watchers will be seeing it, but the people who have the podcast on like another monitor will be seeing it. But for anyone listening on just audio, imagine a GTA version of a BMW. It's that. Yeah. Like, it's a parody of a BMW.
It looks like a 3 Series that someone has squared up a bit, and then it's now been GTA-ified. Like,
it's a different direction. I think that BMW was definitely in a direction where those 2 vents at the front would be up by the windshield by the next model of by the
They've
next model of
taken
BMW.
feedback on the grills because, like,
Yeah.
the M4, those grills go all the way to the bottom. They don't on this. They're
Yeah.
separated by like a chin,
I would
but the
say
back.
the MA, not the newer one that does get down to the bottom, but the MA where they only go slightly, like they don't go onto the hood, but they peek onto
Like,
the curve
yeah,
up.
the low and wide MA, not the
That was
five. The bottom.
yeah. That was kind of fine, but this seems so weird in the other direction. It's
Yeah, I don't get why they've done that.
I dare say it's releasing as a dated car. Like, you know when you see like an older Audi, you'll know because it's one of the rounded ones. Like, or
You'll
see,
be able to tell that is the 2023 BMW
yeah,
M2.
like that will look like the 2023 version when it's 2030. Like,
Unless they shift all of their designs to look like that now, they're not going to.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Is this what their M cars are gonna? Are they gonna update you like M2,
if it's
M3,
every
M4
M car looking
in
like
that styling
Yeah.
pattern? Maybe.
I think it's kind of a Top Gear way of looking at it, right? Because it's a very null point. I think, you know, as a podcast, we have to have an opinion on it. But I think when removed from that, driving on the road, I don't care. Like, it's got no flavor.
Yeah.
You couldn't see it as a
Well,
race
considering
car.
considering the price, right? What that's gonna
Yeah.
be. If anyone American comments this is like 40 grand, actually just shush. Like it's gonna be that's gonna be like a 55,000-60,000 pound car in the UK.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a 60,000 pound car.
Yeah.
Like it's a performance car, right? Like what? What is it? BMW M2 engine. It's an i6. Okay, so it's not that bad.
But like this thing,
It doesn't look like a sports car. It doesn't.
it would still look goofy on the road, but I think it's so... It is probably the most mundane. Mundane is the only word I can use to describe
It's
it.
like it's AI traffic. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's an AI traffic car. Like, if a company wanted to have an AI traffic car that they wanted the players to be like, oh, that's definitely a BMW, they'd remove the badge and this is what it would be.
I think it's meant to be the aggressive version of the 2 Series. It just looks like a new 2 Series. Like it just where's the aggressive? It doesn't have any like massive like I say massive vents in the aspect of like brake cooling ducts, not noises.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't have any aggressive like it doesn't have a rear diffuser, it doesn't have a spoiler. It just looks like a bog standard 2 Series.
Yeah, yeah.
With a badge on the back.
Yeah. And if this is what cars... They're obviously not going to be coming in the place of the Aventador. But if the Aventador is this current point in time the car going out, and this M2 is the car coming in, it's terrible timing.
It's unfortunate.
It's a downhill spiral from there.
I mean, even the new, as I get blinded, even the new Mercedes, the C63 AMG, I'm being blinded right now.
Yeah.
It no longer has a V8. It's a turbo inline 4, and I bring up weight again, 2.3 tons, I think. It's no longer like an AMG. It's a hybrid commuter car. Like, it's not a sports car. Same with that. It's not really a sports car. It's just regular traffic.
Yeah, yeah.
Car companies can't get away with making outrageous, like, performance versions
This
anymore.
will probably sell. It will probably sell.
I mean, how
very
many
well,
M2s did you see beforehand, though? Do we even get the M2 in the UK?
I don't even know. I don't
hope
even
not.
know.
I
Yeah.
hope not. Like,
But,
Stack can stay in Germany and the Ollie can stay in France.
Exactly. France can have this one too, if they really want. France can take this one too.
France can have that.
But on that, on two, I mean, you know what? I may at some point, I don't know if I'll have to do it on Fiverr or what, I may get stingers of some kind, but like an on-screen one, or maybe like, but what's it called? A stinger, an audio stinger, and maybe like an on-screen one. But the gaming segment side of things. In gaming, obviously, we've had the Need for Speed Unbound rumored to be released, or sorry, announced, well, released December 2nd, early December, and announced at some point in the next week or so. Hopefully, with the name Need for Speed Unbound, we obviously have that image that came out a while ago. In Forza Horizon currently, it is on, I believe, winter, I want to say.
Who knows what Forza
does? Who does know?
It rotates between winter, yeah.
Yeah, they're currently on winter, with the rewards being the Link and Co. exclusive to it.
People haven't been happy with the amount of Chinese cars being added to Forza. Because we had the MG3 is also on the song, which is also a Chinese car. And yeah, people are on Twitter, right? So
yeah,
they complain about anything. They've been complaining about the volume of Chinese vehicles being added.
There's a bit of promotion going on for it too, but yes, the Link and Co. as the
awful name for a car. Link and Co. 03 Plus.
It really is. And the Donker Voot GTO as the epic reward for it. Winter, I played it for a little bit. It was unbearably long. The first season I started, I played 4 before. Every season I've ever played, 3 events. Goddamn, like 5 events for this one. Outrageous. I gave up after the first season. The Link Co is worth
that much.
Yeah, yeah. But of course, that is for the overall series reward of the Audi e-tron and a different car that I don't know, and I'd have to scroll so far back up in the Forza news chat. So,
Testarossa, I think.
Is the Testarossa? Well, there you go. The Crew 2 is currently on the Scandinavian Flick Summit with the rewards of Nitro Chemist. If you don't play the Crew 2, you wouldn't know what that is. Some vanity tires, some parts, and some followers. Recent releases, they had a bundle where you get a bunch of vanities with the Retro DeLorean.
Summit car next week as well.
Summit car next week. An exclusive Chrysler comes up in the Dominion Rivals Summit.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, this Wednesday, indeed. Then it's nothing until eventually they get the Lamborghini Reventon. I mean, as the first podcast of it, the Crew 2 is currently in the Dominion Frozen. Controversial episode 2 after the...
Controversial means people like it. No one likes this. No one does.
A controversial episode 2, especially right after they had Dominion Forsberg, which was a racing-themed, brand new big tracks on the map, rated very well for the audience.
Of effort.
Yeah, with racer Dominion... I was going to call him Dominion Forsberg for a minute. What's his actual name? Chris Forsberg. I've been saying Dominion Forsberg too much. But yes, Dominion Forsberg with Chris Forsberg. He did voice acting. He was the voice in the races. It was rated like, I think, 4 to 3 stars or so.
We got all of his cars as the Battle Pass
his
rewards.
Cars, and then now they did just sort of meh cars on ice, rated at a resounding 1 star.
Imagine the last episode's content, but
slippery.
Just taking the same tracks, relayouting them on ice. That is all we get for 2 months.
But yes, on that, currently it is on the Scandinavian Flick Summit, which does also remind me, I guess this could have been a main podcast segment, but too late now. Scandinavian Flick Top Gear special. I watched it. I thought it was pretty fun. It was an enjoyable watch. You had a controversial, an out there, a hot take, as they say, on it.
If James May didn't crash, it would have been the worst Grand Tour special.
Oh, would you include Top Gear? Would you include Top Gear specials?
I mean, some of those specials are starting to feel a bit dated now.
I was going to say, I don't even know. There's probably like one-off ones that I've never even watched.
Like, the Grand Tour is the worst Grand Tour thing by far. They feel more and more scripted each time. It just...
I mean, I noticed that as like a general thing. I remember talking, this was years ago, in maths. I remember saying to Oliver Peacock, who sat next to me, I remember saying to him, I watched Grand Tour for the first time, didn't like it, felt way too scripted. And he was like, oh, well, Top Gear was obviously scripted as well. It feels so much more
like, you can tell Top Gear's scripted, but it's scripted subtly enough and to the benefit of the plot, where if it wasn't, the plot wouldn't progress. So.
Yeah.
But this just felt like, oh no, he has funny flame exhaust set thing on fire somehow.
Yeah.
Like, it's... Like, yeah.
Mm.
Without because James May crashing in the tunnel, right? That was entertainment value, I guess.
Yeah.
And then his car like constantly limping. For the context,
That is some kids nowadays. James May plowing into a wall at speed going to the hospital. At least that was entertainment
without
value.
the entertainment value of his car almost constantly just disintegrating,
Yeah,
right?
and then coming
What
back.
would there have been?
Yeah.
And it's just. And they screwed him with that one challenge with the skiers on. I give him the one-legged guy. Like, how is that considering he was in the most broken car? I mean, the one-legged guy.
That was yeah. No, obviously they didn't mention it to the people, but like, yeah.
They screwed him with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's. Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun, I guess, but Top Gear scripted, whatever. Back to the gaming. CarX seems to be CarX. Red Rock location is all set for a new event, apparently, is what's going on in CarX. Not too sure what goes on in GT7. Nothing
new
yet,
update recently, I think.
A new update.
They added the ID, the one that on the Nürburgring record, and a Silvia S14 or 13, F15. One of the S's.
Bad.
This apparently everything apart from the IDX is bad.
Yeah. GTA added some new cars. I'm gonna have to look up the Black Panther thumbnails to actually know what these cars are. Honestly, clickers.
Probably more copyright infringement.
Yeah, probably. You know, which indie designer did they steal this one off of? You know, they look to be based off of. I couldn't tell. A Honda Prelude and a Honda Civic, but one of the older ones.
Can't wait to get on GTA to play that.
That's come about with that. And I think that wraps up the gaming news. I think the only way to segue from there to that is to go on to you to give all of your very in-depth insights to the motorsports news, which you follow every single thing.
Analysis is going to be basically, I didn't get to watch Free Practice 2. I've seen Free Practice 1, Free Practice 3 and qualifying. Free Practice 1 looked interesting because Hamilton he got first in Free Practice 1. And then it was Verstappen or Leclerc and then the other one because obviously.
Yeah.
Who else is going to win? I didn't see Free Practice 2. Latifi was at the bottom of Free Practice 1.
As usual, absolute go Latifi.
Go Latifi. I think he was 4.9 seconds off Hamilton. But yeah. Free Practice 3. Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz for top 3.
Yeah.
Latifi was 5.7 seconds off the top this time. Getting better, right? Qualifying was interesting because Q1 it was damp. There weren't inters. Most of the track was dry apart from it goes under the grandstands in Singapore.
Yeah.
So it stayed wet under there for a fair amount of time. So everyone was on inters and. The Williams is the slowest car known to mankind. Or Latifi is the worst driver known to mankind.
Well, I mean, looking at it right now, qualifying, I see Williams Racing is both of the bottom. If I'm looking at this information right, they're both of the bottom cars. So,
but like the car is known to be good in a straight. Like it's quick. Its whole thing is it can go quick in a straight line, but it cannot turn.
Yeah.
But like it was the slowest in the speed trap. Like it was just that bad. But yeah, what's it called? It's going to be an interesting race tomorrow because where is Verstappen? He's 8th because he had to abort his final lap attempt because apparently he was too low on fuel. You have to have 1 kilo of fuel at the end to be analysed to make sure, no, you're not using rocket fuel because, you know, cheating. And he wouldn't have had enough, so he had to abort final lap. So he ended up coming 8th, so it's Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton, top 3, which will be an interesting race. Latifi was last by, what is that, 4, 5, 6, 7? By a solid 3.3 seconds or something like that. The GOAT.
The Gotifi. A solid couple of seconds ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, he's just so quick they had to put him to the bottom.
Because it's, you know, you got to nerf the best thing on the board. It just keeps it more interesting.
Verstappen will somehow win.
Yeah.
And I think if Verstappen wins fastest lap and Leclerc crashes or comes below 10th, Verstappen wins the championship this race.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
if
mean, what, that
Max
happens
can,
tomorrow?
yeah. And if Max, well, Sunday, because yeah.
Yeah.
And if Max, because obviously he's not gonna, the chance of that happening is very slim, right?
Yeah.
But if that doesn't happen, next race in Japan, I think he just needs to win with fastest lap,
Yeah.
and he's won the championship in Japan. I think there is maths somewhere in there.
I mean,
But
isn't
Verstappen
Verstappen...
has won the championship at this point, basically. Like, he
Isn't he
can't
just
lose.
the one that just wins everything? Like, is it like
Yeah,
isn't it
yeah.
at the point where it's like I saw
Well,
a meme, like it's just the
it's
same person winning every time?
he's won like I think the past 5 races in a row, maybe
Yeah.
6. The Red Bull have built a good car at the start of the season, and then have tailored it towards Max.
Yeah.
It's a car Max can drive very, very, very quickly. It's
Yeah.
quick in a straight line, and like the thing is, the Williams is slow around corners because it has no downforce, right? But it's just slow. It has the same engine as the Mercedes, but they have so much drag that isn't downforce. It's just a bad car on this track.
Yeah.
But the Red Bull has low drag, high downforce, so it can go very quick in a straight line and very quick around. It's just better. It's better.
Yeah.
It's like using the 300 plus
Exactly.
with center handling.
Yeah. And there you go. On a Crew 2 reference, I think that is a fair place to leave off the first Stick Drift podcast episode. Hopefully not the last. I mean, Vintage isn't here, so it should survive.
Yeah, if Vintage comments, it just dies.
Again, a very niche reference. But,
everyone will understand that joke.
Yeah. I'm going to be making that other channel, so I mean, if you watched this long, head over and subscribe to that other channel as well, which is going to be the 8-minute to 12-minute segments put into cool-looking thumbnails, and shorts are going to be going on that.
I've just realised why they're 8 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to be promoting it as much as I can.
Hopefully.
With hold of my dignity on the main channel. It just depends, because I always get to a point where I'm like, what if everyone just clicks off when I'm like, go do this thing? But yes, leave a comment. We should be reading it next episode.
If you've watched this for in, comment Among Us.
Exactly. Comment Among Us and the other comment you left before when I told you to comment beforehand. But that is going to be about it for the Stick Drift podcast. Josh, your final mentions on the podcast.
My final thoughts on the podcast.
Indeed.
Yeah.
In a bit.